Question number 101. Mark the statement which is not correct for pollen grains. First option, in majority of angiosperms, the cell with spindle-shaped nucleus and dense cytoplasm is absent in pollen at the time of dispersal. Second, pollens of carrot grass cause allergy. Third, they remain viable for variable periods, which depends up to some extent on surrounding temperature and humidity. Fourth, they can be stored at -196 degrees Celsius in pollen banks. You have to choose the statement which is not correct for the pollen grains. See the statements one by one. Fourth statement, they can be stored at -196 degrees Celsius in pollen banks. Yes, pollen grains can be stored in liquid nitrogen at -196 degrees Celsius in pollen banks. This is called cryopreservation of pollen grains. So this is true. Third, they remain viable for variable period. Pollen grains remain viable for variable period, which depends up to some extent on temperature and the humidity. It is also true. Second, pollens of carrot grass cause allergy. This is also true. Carrot grass is Parthenium. Parthenium is a weed and the pollen grains of Parthenium can cause allergy. The fourth statement, in majority of angiosperms, the cell with spindle-shaped nucleus and dense cytoplasm is absent in pollen at the time of dispersal. In majority of the angiosperms, the pollen grains are shed at the two-celled stage. And this two-celled stage of the pollen grain contains the vegetative cell and the generative cell. So you should know that the cell with spindle-shaped nucleus and dense cytoplasm is the generative cell. So this generative cell is present in the pollen grains at the time of dispersal. So this is not correct. So the correct option for the given question is option number 1. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 102. Which of the given functions is not performed by nucellus? First option, megasporogenesis. Second, storage of reserve food. Third, can form embryo in mango. Fourth, to protect the body of ovule. So what is nucellus? First of all, nucellus is present in the body of the ovule. In angiosperms as well as gymnosperms, ovules are present. As you can see here, this is ovary. And inside the ovary, you can see this is the ovule. In gymnosperms, ovary is absent, hence the ovules are naked. This is the ovule in case of gymnosperms. So this body of the ovule is filled with the mass of the parenchymatous cells called nucellus. And one of the cells of the nucellus can perform megasporogenesis, the formation of megaspore. So one of the cells of the nucellus undergoes some changes and behave as megaspore mother cell, and after meiosis it forms the megaspores. So this is true. This is the function of nucellus. Second, storage of reserve food. Yes, the nucellus can store the reserve food. This is also true regarding nucellus. Third, can form embryo in mango. Yes, it is true, as mango shows polyembryony, formation of more than one embryo. So some embryos can be formed from nucellar cells. So this is true. Fourth, to protect the body of the ovule. No, because it is present inside the ovule, it forms the body of the ovule. It does not protect the body of the ovule. To protect the body of the ovule, there are special structures called integuments. So these integuments protect the body of the ovule. So this is not the function of nucellus. So the correct option for the given question is option number 4. Let's move to the next question. Question number 103. The most common ovule found in 82% of angiosperms is not related to the features such as: first option, micropyle situated close to the hilum. Second, body of ovule is at right angle to the funicle. Third, chalaza forms its base. Fourth, it is bitegmic generally. Here you can see these are two figures, and this shows the anatropous ovule and this is showing the hemianatropous ovule. So which type of ovule is found in 82% of the angiosperms? It is the anatropous type of ovule. And in this question, you have to choose the feature which is not related to the anatropous ovule. In anatropous ovule, micropyle situated close to the hilum. This is true because you can see here, this is the micropyle and this is the hilum. So this micropyle and the hilum, they are close to each other. What is hilum? Hilum is the junction point between the body of the ovule and the funicle, and this is the stalk called funicle. Second, body of ovule is at right angle to the funicle. No. The body of the ovule is right angle to the funicle in case of hemianatropous ovule, not in the anatropous ovule. So this is incorrect feature regarding the anatropous ovule. Third, chalaza forms its base. It is true because this is the micropyle and the opposite side of the micropyle is called chalaza. And it forms the base of the ovule. So this is correct. Fourth, it is bitegmic generally. Correct. What is bitegmic? Presence of two integuments. So these are two integuments which surrounds the body of the ovule. Hence, it is bitegmic. So this is also correct. So the correct option for the given question is option number 2. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 104. Choose the statement which is correct for monosporic female gametophyte. First option, unicelled egg apparatus is situated towards micropylar end. Second, synergids have special cellular thickening at the micropylar tip which guides the entry of the pollen tube. Third, out of the 8 nuclei, only 7 are surrounded by cell wall. Fourth, central cell is uninucleate. You have to choose the correct statement regarding the monosporic female gametophyte or the embryo sac of angiosperms. First option, unicelled egg apparatus. You can see here the egg apparatus includes egg and the synergids. So egg is one-celled. Synergids, there are 2 synergids. So this egg apparatus has 1 egg cell and 2 synergids which forms 3-celled. So egg apparatus is not unicelled, it is 3-celled. So this statement is incorrect. Third, out of the 8 nuclei means the total nuclei in the embryo sac, 3 of antipodals, 2 polar nuclei and 3 nuclei in the egg apparatus. So total 8 nuclei. Out of these total 8 nuclei, only 7 are surrounded by the cell wall. No, only 6 are surrounded by cell wall because these polar nuclei are not surrounded by the cell wall. So this is incorrect. Fourth, central cell is uninucleate. No, this is the central cell and this central cell is the largest cell which has 2 polar nuclei. So it is binucleated, not the uninucleated. So this statement is also incorrect. What about the second one? Synergids have special cellular thickening at the micropylar tip. Yes, it has special cellular thickenings at the micropylar tip which guides the entry of the pollen tube into the embryo sac. So this is true. So the correct option for the given question is option number 2. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 105. Which of the following features promote the chances of cross-pollination in plants? A. Bud pollination. B. Chesmogamy. C. Homogamy. D. Clistogamy. E. Protandry. F. Dioicy. G. Dichogamy. H. Self-incompatibility. First option only A, C, F and H. Second only E, F, G and H. Third only B, E, F, G and H. Fourth only D, F and G. You have to tell in this question that which of the following features promote the chances of cross-pollination or the features which prevent the self-pollination in plants. See one by one. First is bud pollination. Bud pollination means pollination occurs in the bud stage. For example, pea. In this condition, there are no chances of the cross-pollination. The bud pollination promotes self-pollination. So, this is ruled out. B. Chesmogamy. Chesmogamy means the flowers which are tesmogamous, they open, they expose their sex organs, and there are chances of cross-pollination in these flowers. So this is correct. C. Homogamy. Homogamy means the maturation of both female and the male gametes takes place at the same time, so that self-fertilization can take place. So that self-pollination can take place. So this reduces the chances of cross-pollination and promotes the chances of self-pollination. So this is also ruled out. D. Cleistogamy. Cleistogamy means the flowers are called cleistogamous when they never open, they never expose their sex organs, and they promote self-pollination only. So this is also ruled out. Protandry. Protandry means the condition in which male sex organ matures first as compared to the female, so that cross-pollination takes place. So it promotes cross-pollination. So this is correct. F. Dioici. Dioici is the conditions in which male and the female sex organs are present on the separate plants, so that cross-pollination can take place. So this feature also promotes cross-pollination. G. Dichogamy. Dichogamy is a condition when maturation of the male and female gamete or maturation of the male and female sex organ is at of different time, so that cross-pollination can be favored. So this is also correct. Self-incompatibility. If self-incompatibility is seen in a plant, it will never go for self-pollination. It will go for cross-pollination only, because they are not compatible. They are incompatible for the self-pollination. So this is also correct. So the features which can promote the chances of cross-pollinations are B, E, F, G and H. By analyzing the options, you can say the correct option for the given question is option number 3. Let's move on to the next question.